It didn't take 3 months this time, guys. Welcome back, everybody, to the What's on Your Mind podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Brenton, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm starting pretty irritated. I'm pretty annoyed, but I want to give thanks first to you guys. It's been a lot going on this year. As y'all see, the room is different. We almost in a new apartment. Shout out the Lord. Shout out the Lord Jesus Christ for opening up opportunities and blessing me with just blessing me with the strength of knowing that it can get better and doing my best to keep going and keeping that faith in the Lord that there's light at the end of the tunnel, really. And I want to thank you guys for still giving me the opportunity to have a platform to speak to you guys and to give my opinion on things. And I started this platform, I started this podcast, as you know, if you know the real origin story, just talking to myself and having stuff on my mind. But I really want to be a strong voice for Black culture, and especially for Black men, because I'm gonna just be the Black man to say it. And y'all know how we get. Let me make sure it's rolling before I get this off, because this either may be a long episode or it may be quick because I'm getting my thoughts off. Camera's still rolling. Shot looks good. Listen, I'm gonna be the Black man to say it, especially the young Black men to say it. Some Black men are embarrassing. Let me get closer. Some Black men are embarrassing. DJ Academics, you one of them. DJ Acadiddy, you one of them. Hey, Klay Thompson, look, if we talking basketball, I feel actually the second greatest shooter of all time. Outside of basketball, listen, because somebody tried to check me on this because of my language, and I even fixed it, corrected, because as a journalist, I say allegedly and I say apparently to protect myself because I don't know these people in real life. But my source is Megan Thee Stallion, so the young lady who had her opinion, hey, I changed it on Instagram because Klay Thompson, you weird as fuck too. Outside of basketball, hey, if we're not talking basketball, I don't know y'all in real life, but around these ways, especially as a Black man with Black women, don't condone cheating. And because even one of my mans tried to also, there's no understandable reason for cheating. Leave. If you want to cheat, leave. You can be, especially for a millionaire. I don't get, because, dude, even me and my mans, we didn't argue, but he even tried to say, like, I understand, I don't condone it, but I understand why people do it. What the fuck are you talking about? Listen, I've told people there are certain things I have very strong beliefs on. There's no such thing as a bad texter. You have your priorities fucked up and you don't know how to respond to people. It don't take that long to get return a text. And there's no excuse for cheating. Period. There's zero excuse. Every conversation I've had about this, every debate I've had about this, you can just leave. With all the effort you can take into cheating. Because according, again, the source is Megan Thee Stallion. And I don't even, like my original thing I put on my IG status, I don't really even give a fuck about internet couples like that. I don't know Megan Thee Stallion from a can of paint. I don't know Klay Thompson from a can of paint. I don't know their relationship as to why he chose to do what he do. It's only her side. He hasn't spoken. All of that is true. Everybody is aware of the things that Megan Thee Stallion has went through. The things she's talked about with losing her mother, losing her grandmother, getting shot. Just to repeat that, getting shot. No matter who shot her, getting shot. The relationship she went through with Tory, apparently the baby, allegedly, Moneybag Yo, allegedly. Like, people are aware of the things she's going through, and people have even gave thoughts on whether maybe she's has issues with drinking when she gets depressed. And again, I don't know her, so that's none of my business. I don't know, but I mentioned that because you come into that young lady's life knowing all the baggage she has and knowing all the trauma she has. And according to Megan Thee Stallion from the Post, have her around your family, named a yacht after. No, this nigga named the boat after. Great dog. Millionaires do anything with their money, bro. nigga named a yacht after, did all that just to cheat. Like, why? And again, you're a millionaire. He a light-skinned millionaire. He Klay Thompson. He could do whatever he want to. But yet, why? It's feel like niggas commit for no reason. I won't ever understand it. I hope I don't ever understand it. And it's very frustrating because I mentioned that weird nigga DJ Diddy because he's all on Twitter right now as we recording this. Niggas are even saying, "Hey, I don't even follow academics," and I see him all over my timeline celebrating Megan Thee Stallion getting cheated on. This weird ass child predator, because again, I've talked about this nigga unfortunately many times on my platform, is the same nigga who's talking bad on little boys, asking a little boy would he had sex with a grown up multiple times, and the little kid had to tell him that he was uncomfortable. This is the same nigga who's on Twitter right now celebrating that Megan Thee Stallion that got cheated on, saying that, oh, when you leave a certain woman, you'll be better. Klay, he needed to cheat on her. I wish I was making this shit up. And this is another black man. Again, everything is about race, especially over here, because this is a black woman who got cheated on by a black man. And then we have a black man and other people on social media celebrating this woman's trauma for no reason. Mind you, academics, just in case for his ever reason. If I'm not mistaken, she sued him from other shit he been saying about her for no reason. And it's like, what frustrates me even more is there's not enough black men who are going to come out and call out academics for his weird ass behavior, who are going to call out Klay Thompson for his weird ass behavior, and hold black men, some, keyword some, because what I'm not going to do is play into this all black men or all men, because I even understandably already see that on social media, like men ain't shit and blah, blah. Some, and especially some black men, are not shit. Like, period. Because again, I don't know Megan Thee Stallion. It's bigger than that. There was another situation where because I'm pissed at this point. Like, apparently, because I wasn't aware of the dude. He was a Houston comedian by the name of Uncle Stanley, something like that. And I wasn't aware of the young lady either. But he, according to a young lady by the name of Nikki Influence, he was physically abusing her for 20 years, and she even posted proof, and also talked about apparently he would cheat on her as well. And at first I didn't process it fully because I didn't see the clip of him, but this nigga had a clip of him defending it pretty much like, hey, that was the old version. And I say this because that's another black man doing that to another black woman. And it's like, I seriously, seriously cannot understand this section of black men who either come from a black woman, raised with a black woman, around a black woman, or just a black person in general, and they don't respect their race. Like, they go out of their way to do things that cause harm to our own community and to our own women. And it's not just a black men thing. It's not just a men thing. It's not. I feel men and women are equally as terrible to each other. The 50% that men do, sometimes some men are just very fucked up. Like, I don't need to know that young lady Megan Thee Stallion to understand that it's not okay for anybody to get cheated on. Like, it was the effort that it took to cheat and the trauma that it's been put on Megan Thee Stallion could have been solved if he just left. Or if he didn't commit, because they weren't together for that long. He probably could have just fucked and left it at that if he really wanted to. But yet you commit to something just to waste your time. I don't understand. And it's very disappointing because even when you don't know these people, and apologies if there's any other audio that gets picked up, but you don't know these people, but it's like, especially when you live a certain way and when you don't live a certain way in your own life, and you start to learn. It's why I tell people all the time in my real life, like, we don't know these people, because when you see certain people do certain things and act a certain way, especially outside their profession, like, this nigga's a hooper. This is a hooper and a rapper, and we talking about cheating. Like, we're outside, we so outside the plot to where it just reveals that there's a lot of evil in this world. And really, just mind your business. Like, whether that's staying single, keeping your relationship tight, like, shout out Wanda. Like, hey, dog, regardless of whatever happened in my life, I can thankfully say that I've thankfully never been cheated on, to my knowledge. To my knowledge. You never know how niggas is. And I've never cheated on nobody. Because that's so much energy, bro. Dog. A relationship itself takes so much energy. I'm going on almost 2 years of Wanda. I love Wanda with all my heart. That shit takes time, effort, energy, money, time, spirit, like, pray. No, and people just play with people's hearts for no reason. Like, the breakups are hard. Because I'm a big advocate in this case for, hey, just break up. Breakups are hard to do. Shout out professor, shout out former doctor professor I had, Dr. Broman. Breakups are hard to do. So cheating on somebody, and then I don't know if it's like the whole I'm not gonna get figured out, or I just don't care, but like, I just can't fathom choosing to hurt somebody, especially when you claim to love them. That'd be the bullshit that cheaters try to get up to. Listen, you didn't actually love that person if you cheated on them. You don't cheat on people you love, because people don't process. People look at sex. People don't understand and don't look at sex as important, as intimate as it is, because people look at it as just sex or just fucking, to where that nigga just put his dick in somebody else. Or she, if it's a woman, allow somebody to fuck her. But it's just that, like, people minimize sex. That's a whole nother conversation. And people minimize these things to where real trauma could potentially get put on people for these type of actions. And I am nowhere near perfect. I am nowhere near a saint. And I got crazy exes out there who would go on their own little podcast if they had it and say, hey, Anthony's the worst person in the world. Hey, I am never going to advocate and never tell you on this camera that I am perfect. What I am going to tell you is that I have a certain set of morals at the time of these recordings, to where I hope I don't change them. And at the time of this recording, I have a certain set of morals, because I don't want to be somebody who hurts people and then doesn't care about the impact that it has on others. Because it's one thing to make a mistake. Cheating's not a mistake to me. Just to get all the bullshit takes out the way. Uh, it's one thing to make a mistake, and it's another thing to have a set of actions that you know is gonna hurt somebody. Because Megan is, even in, again, I don't know them, but you don't have to. You can barely know Megan Thee Stallion to know she's already had relationship issues. So you get with somebody that you know has had relationship issues. Allegedly, Klay Thompson, this nigga's a serial cheater. So unfortunately, people like Megan Thee Stallion have to then think to themselves, like, who am I picking? But allegedly, the nigga's a serial cheater, and instead of just staying out of relationships, he keep getting in relationships with these women and cheating on them. And apparently, black women. Apparently, this nigga dated and cheated on Coco Jones. Allegedly, this nigga dated and cheated on Coco Jones and Megan Thee Stallion. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave that. Doug. So other than those two things, and matter of fact, since we on the topic of Megan Thee Stallion, look, listen. I try to defend people as much as I can, and I unless your name is R. Kelly and this close Kanye West, I separate the art from the art. And Drake, unless you're R. Kelly, this close Kanye West, or this, like, damn near pretty much Drake, I separate the art for the artist. All three of them from different reasons. That should hopefully be obvious. But in order, by the way, because Robert, I'm not comparing them to, well, other conflict. But to sort of stay on track with the Megan Thee Stallion thing, apparently there's beef between Sexy Red and Megan Thee Stallion. And that's why I was going on the rant of, like, sometimes I defend people. I have a whole take defending Sexy Red along with people like Doechii for being misunderstood and harshly criticized, especially for dark skinned women. Sexy Red been on bullshit because not only ever since that take I had, but, and by the way, this is podcasters act like they can't go back on their takes and be like, hey, I was wrong, or hey, even if I stand on that take, I can understand this person is weird, because ever since I made that take, I still fully stand on the Doechii's take because motherfuckers treat Doechii so wrong. But in terms of Sexy Red, ever since I made that take, and I don't even, to my knowledge, it was after I made the take. I don't remember if I knew Sexy Red was a Trump supporter before I made that take and just forgot. But after that take, Sexy Red came out, was at a fucking Trump rally. Or I think it was a rally that was, yeah, pretty much a Republican Trump rally. She supports Trump. And then if you do research, she's been supporting Trump. So yeah, maybe my take, I was just out. I just didn't know. I wasn't hip. But she's also, for some reason, kind of silently dissing Megan Thee Stallion on social media. So I found out a while ago, she posted a twerk video on her Instagram and had the diss track, the Nicki Minaj diss track Bigfoot attached to it. But recently, she liked a post. It's been a lot. Recently, she liked a post that, and this is allegedly, just to make sure I get that out the way. Don't know these people. Um, Allegedly, she liked a post, and I say that I saw so it was a screenshot, and especially with AI nowadays, but I saw a screen. It was from a screenshot and from Sexy Red's Instagram. She liked a post. Somebody said like collab with Megan Thee Stallion, and then Sexy Red liked it. Somebody said like no, and then Sexy Red liked the comment or something. Like, it just been weird shit to where not only has Megan Thee Stallion, for some reason, again, been getting her name dragged through the mud on the internet, but it's very frustrating, like I mentioned earlier, how there's not enough black men speaking out on certain shit. For some reason, unfortunately, especially in the rap game, black women either get put against each other or they just don't like each other and they beef with each other for no reason. And it's a whole other combo that comes from the weird ass Nicki Minaj camp, because Sexy is cool with Nicki and all that other shit. But it's been odd for the rap women. Like, I don't understand. Like, bro, dog. And this shit is crazy. I'm gonna just keep going with the we gonna be on rap for a minute and hip hop for a minute, and especially drama, unfortunately, for a minute, especially with black women, because why Ice Spice get ran up on in McDonald's, bro? It's not funny. I'm laughing out of, like, I can't believe that shit happened, bro. And this is a little dated, but I bring it up in this episode in recent sense for a reason, because, bro, for context, if you're not aware, um, Ice Spice is just chilling in McDonald's with her friend, that apparently must have been Lucy. Uh, and a fan just walks up on her and puts her hands on her and tries to fight her. And first of all, the fan tried to come out and say like, "Oh, she did this to me when we literally got video proof. She walked up and tried to Ice Spice literally chilling, eating McDonald's, and just walked up on her." But the reason I bring it up for this recording, so while there was Ice Spice was performing live, and I think it's from Delhi. I think it's from. Hold on. Matter of fact, since I got my computer in front of me anyway, because I'm gonna shout out King Anthony from Twitter. I'm gonna shout him out again for a segment I'm gonna do, because I got it in my bookmarks. Why was she was Ice Spice was performing live, and she shouts out her friend Lucy in the song. But why recently in this live performance she was like, and like, she didn't shout out Lucy this time. Like, that must have been the friend. Because for extra context, Ice Spice was chilling with a friend when she got ran up on, and the friend just watched her. The friend just stood there and didn't defend Ice Spice at all. So apparently that must be Lucy, because Ice Spice, for some reason, didn't shout out Lucy in her most recent, most recent rendition of the track she just did live. So I'm trying to pull up my Twitter on my computer to make sure that it is from Delhi, the shout out, because I don't even remember specifically why is Twitter trying to get me to I got bread to be a premium user right now. First thing on my timeline, Klay cheating on all these women, says everything about his character and nothing about their looks. And it's Megan Thee Stallion, Coco Jones, and I don't know who's this third young lady. I don't know she looked very familiar. Who is that third young lady? I can't tell. But when my editing gets better, this would be probably the part where I put this on the edit. I don't know. But because it's funny, because a lot of podcasters, I try to watch a lot of content creators and what they do sometimes, and even the best of best content creators do certain things or just don't do certain things. To where I'm like, bro, I could at least get 1,000 followers, and then from there we go get better and better. We go keep pushing. Shout out to the WOYM community. But yep, it was Ice Spice skips over the Lucy shout out in Delhi. Let me see if the mic would the mic pick this up? I'm gonna play that quick because the copyright be crazy. But if you heard it that quick, like shout out to kept it quiet that quick. But while I'm here, let me pull up. I'm gonna talk about it a little later, but let me go to let me pull up King Anthony's 25 feature list. What would be the quickest way to get to this? Where's my search bar on the computer? I do not be using Twitter on the computer a lot. They go to search King Anthony 25 feature. All right. We go get to that later. Shout out King Anthony. But it's been a very weird week for the rap girlies, to where now we're at a point to where, again, rest in peace PNB Rock. I've been feeling this way ever since really before his death. But like, motherfuckers can't even go eat. Like, Ice Spice can't even eat at McDonald's without getting harassed. Like, that could have been very dangerous. We could be talking, God forbid, about either the fan or Ice Spice getting seriously hurt because that fan made a dumbass decision to walk up with somebody in their private life while they're eating to antagonize them. Like, y'all internet niggas, a lot of y'all are really weird and really strange. Matter of fact, hold on. Again, y'all know the check-in. Shout out my visual watchers. We almost 30 in. A lot of y'all internet niggas weird. As an internet nigga, and that was one of the things I had to think about when potting and being somebody on the internet, because I'm like, bro, for me to want to be successful on the internet, I gotta be on the internet more, and that's so annoying sometimes. But it's been a very odd week in hip hop from this regard, and to transition into something a little more positive, but we still in drama. So Latto and Glorilla recently released a song, "Get Out My Face," and really fire track, to be honest. So in the song, allegedly, Glorilla possibly dissed her sister. For context, first of all, for some people that may not know, Glorilla has a sister. I didn't know that until about a couple months ago. I'm reading this lyric. I got the lyric type next to me to make sure I quote it right. But Glorilla has a sister, and Glorilla's sister had came on the internet a lot saying that Glorilla hasn't really gave her any money. Like, yo, bro, Glorilla give me some bread. She got her family out here struggling. Now she don't got me out her money. She got me out here with no money. Why Glorilla get on this song with Latto Thompson? It's a lot of ways to get bread. You just a freaky stud that's laced, ho. Or get out my face. You just a freaky stud that's laced, ho. Yo, that's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. To get out pod mode for a minute, to talk about your blood like that, if she's talking about her sister like that, crazy. To get back in pod and hip hop mode, yo, me personally, dog, KSI, get them on Misfits. Bro, there's no way she just called her sister a freaky stud and then said that she's laced and then added the hoe at the end. Like, dog, bro, as a lyricist, I gotta respect Glow for adding the hoe at the end of her lyrics. Like, that little extra emphasis she had, like, bro, The song was really fire, but the fact that she dissed her sister like that, again, crazy. None of my business. But to keep it hip hop, if you guys aren't aware, I'm a very big battle rap fan. Whether it's industry battle rap, Kendrick, Drake, Joe Budden dissing somebody, I would love for that nigga to rap again if he ever do, or just actual battle rap. One of my favorite battles recently is one of my favorite battle rapper is Rum Nitty, and I originally in my notes I had to talk about Mickey's response to Rum Nitty last call, because I don't think I talked about it in the last recording. Really good response, and even Jay Mills has dropped 2 more disses on Rum Nitty that were I listened to one of them and it was better than the first one, but it was still diss wise. And I haven't listened to Aisle 6, but Rum Nitty still hasn't responded to Mickey. And then he got 2 more J Mills tracks to respond to if he's going to respond. And he's apparently rematching Twerk soon. So luckily Rum Nitty be busy. But um from Rum Nitty, one of my favorite battles is Rum Nitty versus Loaded Lux. Because it's a perfect example of how one nigga in Loaded Lux could have 3 fire rounds and still get 30 by Rum Nitty. But that's a whole nother battle. But um the reason why I bring up battle rap is because battle rapper Sue Surf has recently been released from jail and he's home. Sue Surf is someone who even I'm still making sure I'm doing more research to get more and more hip to, because he's a battle rapper who's been pretty popular, but pretty known, and he's also been someone to appear on the Joe Budden podcast. He was on there before I started watching regularly, and um, it seems as though he's returning to battle rap, which is good because it seems as though battle rap is on a decline in terms of really awareness. Because some people argue like skill wise, battle rap is on a decline. I don't personally feel that way, and that's really subjective. But what isn't subjective is a lot of the attention and awareness around battle rap is becoming less and less mainstream again, which is already bad because for some reason these battle rap leagues don't be posting their shit on YouTube, which I can imagine. I think the reason is so they can get their money, but this is, at least in my opinion as a consumer, very counterintuitive to have these battles and then they're nowhere to be found on the internet except only your platform, where people either don't have the money or aren't going to have the money to spend, aren't willing to give the money to spend for the niche website instead of just putting it on YouTube for notoriety. I don't understand it, but that's their prerogative. But Sue Surf has already he's been in spaces arguing with Murder Mook, another battle rapper, arguing with Easy the Block Captain, and luckily it seems like it's gonna have a very huge impact on battle rap, because I'm pretty sure I talked about in the last episode how I strongly disagree with Jay-Z's perspective on battle rap not being a necessary part of the culture, because that's how hip hop started. I've hopefully talked about it many a times on this platform, but the genesis of hip hop was for black people to have a voice and let out their frustrations instead of going and killing each other or having the other outlets that we were forced to be put into from certain circumstances. Hip hop and rap allowed us to have a voice and allowed us to get out our grievances and frustrations through expression instead of fighting. So battle rap is something that's literally integral to the existence of hip hop. And I'm someone who definitely subscribes to hip hop being a sport. And for one of hip hop's biggest stars, for one of battle rap's biggest stars to return to the sport and win, lose, or draw, bring profit to the sport is very positive. Now, apparently, I didn't double check this, but apparently Sue Surf won't like 200K to battle. Hey, just like Jay Black said, black man, if you can get that for a battle, get your money. I don't know if battle rap got it like that, but I mean, hey, Sue Surf versus Murder Mook, Sue Surf versus Easy to Block, bro. Those look like they very hyped up battles, and especially look, I would love to see Sue Surf versus Murder Mook, especially. Especially, and apparently, there's probably, again, I don't know these people, I don't know, but there might be real beef between Sue Surf and Easy the Black Captain, so that might be a really good battle too. When there's real beef in a battle, that already makes it better. But even when there's not real beef, when there's 2 talented battle rappers who are prepared for war, prepared for a battle, prepare to just lyrically spar, I'm someone who's a fan of it. So hopefully that uh hopefully Sue Surf is able to relax and enjoy his time home, and whenever he's ready to pod again, whenever he's ready to battle again, there's not only a lot of um there's just a lot of blessings coming his way. I forget I was gonna say financial benefits, but there's a word, I forget the word I was trying to think of. But not only will it be very profitable when he does get to do it, doing these things, but I'm religious. He's a very blessed man. I mean, he's again not I don't know the guy, but for him to go through the things he's gone through and still get opportunities to live life, to live free, and to have people waiting by the edge of their seats for his next move, whether it's podding, whether it's battling. I've seen people say he'll be dumb to go to battle and just get the pod bag. I've seen people say he'll be dumb to go to pod, the biggest black podcast in the world, by the way, other than shout out to what's on my side though. But one day, but he'll be dumb to go to pod and just go back to battle rap. He don't gotta choose. The entire world kind of in his hand. His world, the world he's in, the hands entities he's in, they're all in his hands. Joe Ben said whenever Surf get home, he got a seat at the pod. Battle rap been waiting for Sue Surf to get home. Niggas been trying to call out Sue Surf. Battle rap been asking Sue Surf to get back. It's great for everybody. It'll be positive for everybody. And shout out Sue Surf for not only returning to battle rap but getting home. It's another black man out of jail and low key, hopefully getting a million soon. So shout out to Sue Surf. And to keep it battle rap, another thing that's very positive for the culture is when young battlers are coming up. And shout out Eunice versus King. Now, I ain't gonna lie, especially being from Detroit, I have a bit of a controversial take. I prefer Eunice from this battle, and I um I really do want to shout out King because at first I had somebody clipped his first round, and I still say unfortunately I'm not really a fan of King's first, and a lot of people was gassing it, and a lot of people had it very highly praised. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I definitely can see how people have it a 30 for King. I understand how people had it a 2-1 for King. Again, I personally had Eunice. I would have personally scored it 2-1 Eunice, but um I really like how I really like King's approach to his rap style, because even though I wasn't a fan of a lot of the bars, he not only does he have an intensity to where he really crescendos, he a lot of battle rappers do the thing where they set up the 3-4 bar punch and then they get excited on the last bar. He sells the entire round to where he had like he said like he gonna name drop easy and say I had it easy, and he kept that whole little enunciation with his voice for the whole round. And even though again, dog, because you from the city, I love to dap you up one day. I hated the African bar, but the ice African bar, I hated that bar. But this nigga Thompson, bro, Epstein, what he say? He said something crazy like Epstein wouldn't even sell your daughter on the black market, but they got me battling a fucking URL, baby. Like, because URL is a battle rap league, but URL website, black market URL. It was crazy. But I had King winning the third, and then Eunice, bro. Eunice's second round was one of the best rounds of battle rap I've ever watched. To where it was already just really good, but there was a heckler. There was somebody on King's side. Even King ended up coming out on Twitter like, "Bro, I wish she wouldn't have said nothing because I knew he was. I know he coded at freestyling, and he even admitted like, even though I feel obviously King is going to agree with the consensus because it's about him, that at 30 units, Eunice is a way better battler than me. And I mean, better freestyler than me. Because there was somebody saying, like, Eunice was going in and he was saying, like, is this your king? Because he ended off a Michael B. Jordan Black Panther, like, is this your king type of scheme? And somebody on King's side kept saying, like, and is, and you not. So why this nigga off the dome? He was like, hey, Eunice off the dome was like, hey, you keep talking, This just like chess. We go get the white bitch off the board. Like, oh my God. It was something like that. I'm like, dog, that shit was crazy. He rapping against somebody named King. So chess, king, queen, white, bit like the white side. Dog, it was crazy. But shout out both of them to where I really respect both of them, what they're doing for the culture, and especially King being from the city. Like, dog, I felt a little bad because I'm like, dog, I'm never gonna be fake and come out and be like, yeah, I just agree with the consensus. I prefer Eunice rap style, but King is not sorry at all. Like, especially since I had King win the third, and then I have Eunice winning the second. That means one round is a toss up. So I can clearly see how people got King 2-1. Like I have Eunice 2-1. I prefer Eunice's first over King's first, but King had the best bar in the first to me with the URL bar. So King has the best first. And then King has the best round of the King has the best bar of the first, excuse me, at least in my opinion. King has the best bar of the first, and then I give him the third. This could be the point I'm making is this is a very debatable battle. I definitely don't feel this is a 30 either way. That's the main thing I won't agree with. I don't feel King 30 them. I don't feel Eunice 30 them. I don't feel Eunice's second round was that good to where you nullify the other rounds. I don't, vice versa, all the other shit. But these are two young battlers, and especially King from the city. Shout out Detroit. Shout out King. Keep doing your thing. Shout out Eunice. I've seen his name around for a while in battle rap, but this is the first battle of his I've watched. Really good performance from both. I'm looking to see what they do in their next battles. Shout out Trufo. He a battle rapper from Chicago, but he battled Mickey Fax industry wise a while ago. They battled on beat, and he's gonna now be doing a battle with Ill Will, who I learned Ill Will's another battle rapper, and I learned he's from Michigan, and it's gonna be like a Michigan Chicago thing. Ill Will versus Trufo. So shout out them, and shout out battle rap. And for some reason, sometimes people feel like hip hop goes on declines in certain years. I feel hip hop has been great since 2024, since the battle, since the Kendrick Drake battle, and I feel 2026 has been a pretty. I've seen shout out Lil Bill, Bill's Barbershop as a creator. He had J. Cole, ASAP Rocky, and Baby Keem on the thumbnail of, and the video was titled "Hip Hop's Most Disappointing Year." I could uh, be somebody that strongly disagrees with that. I think that's the furthest from the truth, especially because hip hop has had worse years. But other than the underwhelming project of the Fall Off, I feel people like Baby Keem and ASAP Rocky have dropped really good hip hop projects this year. Even the Fall Off, even though I feel it was underwhelming, it's not bad. And I don't feel J. Cole has the ability to make bad music. And J. Cole's underwhelming is better than a lot of people's trash, in my opinion. That shows my J. Cole fandom and bias. But, and I messed up that statement. J. Cole's underwhelming is better than a lot of people's best, is what I meant to say. And even with that, those are three really good projects. Don Toliver, I haven't been able to get to his project in full yet, but he's been having a crazy run with his project. Battle rap, I just had a whole segment on how Sue Surf's returning, King versus Eunice, Rum Nitty's out, Mickey Fax is battling. Like the point, even with the drama, like I've had this whole almost hour talking about hip hop to where, for better or for worse, hip hop will always be the center of what's going on, and Black culture is always the center of the world. And I'm gonna get into basketball talk too because oh my god, speaking of Detroit, bro, Detroit teams are so frustrating. But um, if you want entertainment in hip hop, if you want good music, you just need to go out there. You need to look for it. You need to have the effort in looking for it, because even if it's not the mainstream stuff, there are things for everybody and talent and music for everybody. To where even day after my birthday, Drake is dropping Iceman. Finally, it's been very anticipated, and even though I've been off Drake, especially since the lawsuit and everything else that come with Drake, but um I think I personally thought it was really cool to have the ice structure and the whole Iceman shit, even if it was staged. I feel it was really cool. So I still feel hip hop is in a really good place. For some reason, niggas have also still been trying to get off the hip hop has been in a bad place since Drake hasn't been dropping a lot of music, which is factually wrong. Drake's been dropping a lot of music after the battle. It just hasn't been hitting. It just hasn't been hitting on them charts. And hip hop has still been in a really good place. So, with all that being said, since I mentioned it, I'm gonna transition into some basketball talk into the NBA playoffs. Let me make sure that's the last rap thing. No, it isn't. Matter of fact, before I talk about the NBA playoffs, let me shout out King Anthony on Twitter. I want to get to his segment. I really wanted to talk about his 25 greatest rap features of all time list, because regardless of the list, because I really want to highlight this as a positivity when creating lists, because Complex tried to have a 100 best rappers list and then didn't have Wale on it. I don't think Wale. People complain about Wale when he complained, and I get it, because sometimes I even feel like it's better to just keep it to just ignore things rather than just post about them. But Wale a human just like anybody else. She get irritated. Some always want to post about it. And I don't even think Wale was on the list at all. Like, bro, it'd be crazy to disrespect Wale get. But I want to shout out King Anthony's list for a positive, because it shows the perfection and imperfection. Because I don't think the list is perfect. I think the list is really solid, but I don't think the list is perfect. But what it does positively is it gives a love for hip hop, and he expresses his opinion and takes the criticism without arguing with people. Like, a lot of people do these lists, and a lot of companies, in my opinion, do these lists for clickbait to try and get people uh to argue, to get engagement, and they purposely, like I mentioned with Wale, especially his album Everything Is a Lot. Like, that's people are making albums of the year list and then not including that album at all on the list. Like, sometimes a lot of people make these lists just for attention, but you could tell with this list there's a genuine love for hip hop here. What's also funny is, at least in my opinion, a bit of a funny flaw in this list is you can kind of, and this is a big assumption, I could literally be wrong. For reference, I'm 22, and I grew up in a bit of a strict household to where I either wasn't really allowed to really listen to hip hop, or it had to be clean music, unless it was Tupac or Eminem. Ironically, from a strict household, the two main rappers that my parents, especially my dad, made sure I was hip to, the three main rappers was Eminem, Tupac, and Lil Wayne. That's why they some of my favorite rappers. And Eminem is my favorite rapper, to where, and I'll do an episode on this. If you ask the black man in me, my favorite rapper is tied between Jay-Z and Kendrick, because there are just certain things Eminem can't address because he's not black. But just overall, if we don't include race, and if we include my personal sentiment, just like you heard me say, I grew up in a pretty strict household, but me and my dad, uh, he made sure if there was any rappers I knew of, it was Tupac, Lil Wayne, and Eminem. And he told this story. He always tells this story on how he was in the barbershop years ago, like, and he came in like, "Hey, it's this white boy who better than Jay-Z." And he said niggas laughed him out the barbershop. And then Renegade happened. And then Renegade dropped, where niggas was like, "Oh my god, bro, if you heard this white boy," and my dad said he was just looking crazy, like, "Oh really? Now y'all niggas hip." I go on that story because when you go to King Anthony's list, the number, in his opinion, the greatest feature of all time is Eminem on Renegade. And I mentioned a funny flaw in my opinion of his list. King must be young. And again, I could be completely wrong. He could be older than me. He could be way older than me. He sound like he around my age, because this not even Eminem best feature of my opinion. Like, Eminem has I'm not gonna say a lot, but Eminem has some features that are better than Renegade, in my opinion. And Renegade is a really good Eminem feature. But when you look through the list, and respect to him, I even commented on his list. He has a lot of Eminem features on his list, but not once is Eminem's "We Ain't" feature on this list. Like, we ain't going nowhere. So it's the Game feature Eminem. Nowhere near on this 25 features list, and I feel that's arguably Eminem's greatest feature. Compare that to his feature on Best Friends, a recent feature of his, to where I was about to name a song from his. That's one of M's songs. Eminem's still cold. I was about to name a verse from his, but I feel like Eminem's Best Friends verse feature, and then Eminem's feature on We Ain't are some notable features, just Eminem features that are missing on this list, but features in general. I feel both of those features could go on a greatest features of all time list, but a really solid list from King Anthony. I mean, he has from 1 to 25, he has Eminem on Renegade, Andre 3000 on Life of the Party, really, really great verse. AZ on Life's a Bitch, Nas on Verbal Intercourse, Snoop Dogg on Nothing But a G Thing, Eminem on Patiently Waiting, which I really, bro, shout out again. Shout out you, dog. I'm gonna try to clip this and send this to you, and I'm gonna let you know I shouted you out on the pod. So that's why I'm about to talk to you directly. We now, ever since this list, mutuals on Twitter, so that's why I'm talking to you directly. But the fact that you got Patiently Waiting not only on the list but rated so high, dog, you're very cultured. One of the greatest features, and again, one of Eminem's greatest features of all time, to where that song in general is one of the greatest hip hop songs. And that album, I mean, Get Rich or Die Trying. It's why 50 can get away with the bullshit he do, because Get Rich or Die Trying is a classic. And that song, phenomenal. And I still even need to go back to Get Rich or Die Trying. It's another album I need to listen to from start to finish. But from the songs I've listened to on there, Patiently Waiting, that feature in that song is great. And even though I feel Eminem got the better verse, 50 didn't. 50 not no slouch on that verse. And you, bro, I respect 50 for going back and adding a verse after. Bro, 50's verses on that is cold. It's just a really good song. But keep going from seven onward. Kendrick Lamar on Control, Conway on The Cow, Andre 3000 on 16, J. Cole on Johnny P's Caddy. Um, interesting Control is the only feature verse. Well, that's just features. So that's a whole nother debate. The Cole fan in me in terms of the Kendrick Cole debate jumped out like, interesting. That's a lot of verses better than Kendrick's, but I love them both, and I got Kendrick, so uh, that's cool. 11 down. Eminem on Forgot About Dre. Capital Steez on Survival Tactics. Nate Dogg on Regulate. Biggie on Brooklyn's Finest. Rick Ross on Devil in the New Dress. Biggie on Victory. J-Rock on Money Trees. Big Crit on One Train. Andre 3000 on International Players Anthem. Pac on Smile. Black Thought on Crown for Kings. Kendrick Lamar on Nostalgia. GFK on Ice Cream. Kendrick Lamar on Mona Lisa. Really good verse. I guess that would answer the question. Who would y'all, if you know the song Mona Lisa by Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar, who do you feel have the better verse on that song? And in the list, he has 50 Cent on Hate It or Love It. And I feel that's a really, really solid list. I even told him on Twitter as well, like, top all time lists are something that I hesitate to put out publicly, especially on Twitter. Like I'm doing it with my pie family before I do it on Twitter, because especially Twitter, it's impossible, especially on Twitter, but just in general, it's impossible to please everybody with a list, because even like I mentioned, there's things I feel, especially as an Eminem fan, he missed out on. There are features, especially as a 22-year-old, there's no way I'm going to be able to make a list of the all-time greatest list and all-time anything of hip-hop list and have it be perfect, because it's too subjective. People got too many opinions. I feel Jay-Z's neck and wrist feature is better than some of these verses, but that don't mean the list is bad, and that don't mean Jay-Z's verse on neck and wrist is bad. It's just a lot of verses that you got to think of, and it's a lot of great hip hop out there. And the beauty of this list is to show that there are great. This is a great set of 25. You could still have a better set of 25. You could have a different set of 25. Nobody's list of the 25 greatest features of all time will be the same. And that's the beauty of these type of things. And that's when I love people who actually have a care of music, and they make these type of lists, and they're okay with getting criticism, and they're okay with having that engagement of like, what would you have put on there? What would you have done? because it shows a genuine appreciation for the art form. And again, shout out King Anthony. He didn't know. We just got, again, as soon as I followed him off this list, because even though I'm like, hey, there's some things missing. I would do this. He's seemingly a black man who appreciates Eminem, which is rare on Twitter and just rare from what I've known. And especially to have Eminem's verse on Renegades, the greatest ever. He must be a big Eminem fan in general. And he's not the only one. Shout out Sean. He's another big black guy on Twitter who's a big Eminem fan. But really great list from King Anthony and a little bit of bias. And once I saw his name was Anthony, I'm like, oh yeah, we cool. And Eminem fan and your name Anthony. Oh yeah, you already me done. You is cool with me. But shout out King, man. Shout out for having the guts to even put out a top 25 list, especially on Twitter. On Twitter, out of all places, you risky. But with that being said, I think that's the end of my my hip hop talk, because let's get to NBA playoff. Let's get to playoff basketball, bro. Listen, you know how I'm about to be a huge hypocrite. You know how I said I'm not go. I'm hesitant to put out top list publicly on the internet. Look at me when I say this. Hey, I think I've said this a bit before on the pod. LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. First of all, and honestly, if your number, because to be, before I get on my legend of winning shit, if you have Jordan as your GOAT, it's okay. Like, I think I've said this on the pod before, because I know I've said it a lot in my real life. I hate when niggas act like LeBron, it's unfathomable to have LeBron as the GOAT. I hate when niggas act like it's unfathomable Jordan is the GOAT. At the end of the day, it's preference. Jordan is him. I feel Jordan is the greatest scorer of all time. The nigga averaged 30 with 10 scoring titles. And I feel LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. And I feel that shit is so self-explanatory at this point. The nigga 41 still putting up almost 30-point games, clutch steals, clutch threes to win the playoffs. Now, mind you, we gonna talk about the whole story, because I didn't watch it live, but niggas was on LeBron's head until he had to clutch that game how he did. Because niggas was about to act like LeBron ain't do the shit he did for the past 23 years. This is about to be on his head because he almost sold the game. But just before I get to the playoff talk, if you don't got Jordan or LeBron as your one or two, I don't take you seriously when you talk about basketball. And it's getting to the point now where if you don't got LeBron as your GOAT, I'm going to just be like, hey, dog, that's your preference and that's cool. That Jordan shit on. That's almost dead. If I wasn't as, if I didn't care about basketball and debating as much as I do, to not denounce Jordan as who he is, because Jordan is that nigga and LeBron's not perfect either. Jordan not perfect either. And I hate when Jordan fans act like he is. So I can't ever denounce Jordan as if he's not Jordan, but nigga. Just like Lo said, fuck Jordan. For anybody to be this good at basketball at 41 years old and to be throwing lobs to his son at 41 years old is unimaginable. And the Lakers are up 3-0 against the Houston Rockets in the NBA playoffs right now. And it's very unfortunate, especially for Kevin Durant, because this hurts his legacy. He's been injured, but even in the game he played, they lost. And the nigga act like he can't get past a double team. Well, it's not even an act. You send a double team to that nigga and he ghost. But it's unfortunate for him because even Kevin Durant is one of the greatest players of all time and top 15 greatest players of all time, if not top 10 for some people, greatest scorer for some people as well. That I don't get. That in a negative. I'm trying to praise. I'm trying to be balanced. I do not get that shit. Especially, again, I just talked about that nigga get scared off a double team. But it's very unfortunate for him because he was in the news for tweeting about his teammate, or getting exposed for talking in Twitter group chats about his teammates, which again, I'm trying to be balanced, but that's corny as fuck from KD. But other than it being corny, the nigga was not wrong. Them niggas out there in Houston, bro. It's like, and it sucks for everybody involved from their organization, because Sengun put up a 30-point triple double. Sold. A man had a good game. Jabari had a good game. But them niggas down the stretch, it's like their decision making. It's like when things get in the heat of the moment, your good decision makers and your terrible decision makers show like a fucking sore thumb. because it's like you can read the box score of these athletes and these teams and be like, damn, well, how did they lose? And especially again, LeBron almost sold too. But you get Jabari Smith throwing the ball away, Marcus Smart getting fouled off 3-pointer, Sengun allegedly ignoring Ime on the last play because Ime said that the last shot that was in regulation was not what he drew up. So Sengun ignoring the coach off a hook shot that hit the side of the backboard. It's like y'all niggas gave the game away. But it's like, bro, I can't say nothing. I am a Detroit resident. I am from the city of Detroit. And it's funny, if you know me in my real life, I've been a Detroit team hater because they've all the niggas been ass for my lifetime. And then the Lions finally get good. The Detroit Lions finally give me hope. And then they do the bullshit they did for the past couple of years. But then I'm like, you know what? I ain't got a soft spot. The Lions gonna be back. Now I'm getting a little softer for my city. The Pistons doing good. Let me start. I went to a Pistons game this year for my with my dad. Shout out my dad taking me for his birthday celebration. These niggas suck, bro. Like, oh my god. For reference, the Detroit Pistons are the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. 60 wins. First time, I think, since like what, '08 or something like that. And these niggas are down 2-1 to the Orlando FC. Damn near one game away from not being here Magic. And it's like if Cade Cunningham, it's like if Cade Cunningham wasn't there, these niggas wouldn't even be in the playoffs either. It's like, bro, Jalen Duren apparently can't put up double-digit points. Nobody other than Cade Cunningham apparently can score. Cade not gonna be able to do it by itself. Apparently, the Magic playing us like they back all of a sudden. Niggas been talking bad about the Orlando Magic all year because they had an underwhelming year. They barely got to the playoffs, one game away from not getting there, and yet they're up 2-1 against the 60 seed win Pistons. We're on fraud watch right now. I predicted us to get them out of here in 5. It's looking like we barely go get them out of here in 7 if we win. That is a joke. That is a joke from the Detroit Pistons. It's unacceptable. There's no way as a city we are so bad in sports. And I'm 22. People that are older than me have lively experience to where there are certain Detroit teams that was cold. And even the Detroit hater that is trying to creep back up in me. Bro, I love the bad boy Pistons. I fuck with Calvin Johnson. Stafford was way overhated. Stafford cold. I'm glad Stafford got a ring. Like the talent from Detroit, I love. My list is damn near short. Again, I'm only 22 years old. I didn't live through Barry Sanders. I didn't live through Bad Boy, but I didn't live through these entities where Detroit motherfuckers was cold. The best I got is only 9 years of Megatron. The best I got is 9 years of Megatron, almost Super Bowl run from the Lions. Cade Cunningham being an MVP candidate, and like that's it. Like we is struggling, bro. Like no, we should not be down to the Orlando Magic. All respect to the Orlando Magic, because again, they should have been better than what they are. They're on an off year. Paolo Banchero, nice. Them niggas over there are nice. They're not slouches. They just shouldn't be fucking with the 60 win Pistons. But what the hell do I know? Because we down 2-1. Dude, something gotta change because if we get popped from the AFC, we're already the laughingstock of sports, especially in basketball. We're never gonna live this down. And the East not gonna get no worse. This is off a year where Tatum was off of Achilles and Boston was still a second seed. And now Tatum back. And them niggas probably about to get back to the finals, especially if we playing like this against the Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic. Like, the East not gonna get no worse. And then, bro, we got Wemby waiting in the West. We got Shea waiting in the West. We got Luka and Reeves about to come back. Like, them niggas, dog, the league not gonna get no worse, Detroit. This is the year. It's unacceptable. To get put out in the first round will be unacceptable. And it so far, it won't be Cade's fault. I didn't look at the box score for today's game. I'm recording it today. But we got popped by like 10, 12 points today. And it's like please, can we get our stuff together, Pistons? Please. Speaking of a city begging they team to get their shit together, dog. I'm so glad I'm not a Knicks fan either, dog. This is also why if you hear me speak, especially being from Detroit, this is why, especially if you know me in real life, I'm not a fan of teams. I'm a fan of players because teams will piss you off and let you down for lifetimes. Dog. And dog, if I was a New York Knicks fan, bro, dog, another Detroit native, another Michigan native. Shout out Danhausen. Cause why you curse Stephen A? Cause not the Knicks about to get popped by Atlanta. Not Atlanta Hawks about to be dancing on the Knicks Times Square stat little shit. Like Atlanta's also up 2-1 against the Knicks. And two of those losses were 1-point losses from the Knicks. Two of those wins were 1-point wins from the Hawks. The Knicks could low-key be a 3-0 right now. But because dog, CJ McCollum be seeing Jalen Brunson like he food. And Jalen Brunson be looking at CJ McCollum like he food too. Don't get it twisted. Neither of the niggas can guard the other in that game. But Jalen Brunson damn near my height. CJ McCollum be looking at him like, oh yeah, ball, 2-1. It's good basketball. I'm blessed to be a podcaster and talk about this shit because I get to see I'm missing good basketball right now to talk to y'all about good basketball. Like, no, that's how much I love potting. That's how much I'm trying to get this going, and I'm grateful to you guys. And it's also how much I just gotta talk about this shit. Like, there are creators like Legend of Winning, like I mentioned earlier, who have the responsibility of uploading like almost every day for playoff content. I damn near can't keep up because, bro, it's so many apps you got to catch these games on. I'm from the city, so I'm stressing about my team. I'm a LeBron fan, so I'm trying to see LeBron about to get in one more. I'm a Luka fan, so I'm waiting for this nigga to get back, but they seemingly don't got to. Dog, Luka and Reeves about to get back just to get dogged by the Thunder. That's so frustrating. Now, biasly and delusionally, hey, Lakers in 7. But bro, oh my god, them niggas about to return just to return to the Thunder. Even though J-Dub out, so shit. I'm gonna kind of believe that Lakers in 7 if both of them get back, but bro, shit. For my I'll say my actual finals and winner prediction for the end. But let me see that. Speaking of Thunder, since we're speaking of that, matter of fact, let's do a live check. Let's do a live playoff basketball check because when before I started recording, the the Thunder were up 20 on the Suns. So yep, killed their ass 121 to 109. So the Thunder are most likely going to sweep them, and even if we as the Lakers get the sweep, uh, they have the same amount of break as the sweep. So it's luckily Luka and Reeves will get back, but that shit's not really gonna matter. So they're up 3-0, and how did the box score look? I mean, it don't really matter. Should they destroying them regardless? But this nigga Shea, 42, 8 and 4 off really good shooting. This nigga barely missed. This nigga went 15 to 18 from the field, one for 3 for 3, and 11 for 12 from the free throw. This nigga barely missed and went for 40. Again, I'm a Jokic guy, and we about to get to him next. And then after him, I'm a Wemby guy. But if you feel Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the best player in the world right now, I'm not gonna fight you, man. I'm not gonna fight. If you got him as the MVP, if you get the MVP, I'm gonna find it a little weird if he get unanimous MVP. I don't think he's that much better in the field, but individually, that nigga is that good. Like, it'd be crazy to you if I were to look in this camera and say he's our iteration, he's my version of Michael Jordan right now, but he's literally putting up Michael Jordan numbers and breaking Michael Jordan stats. Like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is on a tear, and fuck the free throw merchant shit. If you can't stop it, I don't know what to tell you. And I keep looking at my microphone because last time my microphone died while I was recording. But dog, shout out to Oklahoma City Thunder. Even without J-Dub, they're a force to reckon with. And I think I saw a clip. Was it D-Book? Lou Dort tripped somebody, which again, I'm not about to get in the whole is he a dirty player talk, but you get a bad track record on you, dog. But I mentioned the Knicks game earlier. Right now, the Knicks are up 19. The Knicks are up 19 in Atlanta right now. So it might be 2-2. It's very talented basketball, so they could come back by the time I get done recording. Who knows? But Nikola Jokic, listen. I'm someone who even would right now vote Jokic as the MVP. He's a center averaging a triple-double. I feel Jokic has been the best player in the league since 2022. So for the past 4 years, that shit you pulled against the Timberwolves is unacceptable. Shout out the Minnesota Timberwolves for pulling out a win like they did, even with the shooting struggles they had. Shout out Rudy Gobert, dog. This nigga hit a left-hand hook on Jokic and clamped up Jokic. Jokic had an awful shooting night. He had 27 points still, but majority of those were from free throws, and he had a terrible shooting night to where if this was any of the all-time greats that we talk about, LeBron, KD, Shai Gilgeous, Victor Wembanyama, if they put up performances like that, we would hold them accountable and say that it's unacceptable, because it is. Especially even if you want to throw off Wemby because he's younger. All of them other players I named, if they had a bad performance like that, we would understandably let that have been Kobe Bryant that went 6 for 20 something. Niggas already be trying to say Kobe not top 10, and that shit is crazy to me already. By the way, over here, greatest Kobe Bryant is the greatest Laker of all time, number 3 all time behind Jordan and LeBron over here. So don't try that over here. But just on the flip side of that, by the way, Kobe fans, don't try that over here. Shit, we realistic. We talk realistic hoops over here. we don't do propaganda over here. So, let Kobe have put a performance out like that. Niggas would be acting like Kobe Bryant's Matt Barnes, and Matt Barnes was nice, but Matt Barnes wasn't the equivalent of Kobe Bryant. And Nikola Jokic, for him to put up a performance like he did in the playoffs in the first round, it's unacceptable. Jamal Murray, for you to put up a performance like you did in the playoffs, it's unacceptable. Jaden McDaniels, I ain't gonna say how Legend of Winning said it, but Jaden McDaniels said in that interview that y'all niggas, matter of fact, that nigga Jaden McDaniels looked at the camera and said, y'all niggas is pussy. Y'all niggas can't guard nobody. Y'all niggas is soft. I am gonna tell you what Legend said, because it's damn near what he said. That nigga damn near looked at the camera and said, y'all niggas is soft. Y'all can't guard nobody. And we go to the rim and prove that shit to y'all and get buckets. And what them niggas do? The exact thing Jaden McDaniels said. He named niggas, even though I'm gassing it and putting a little entertainment for the camera, he named names. He said, oh, Jokic, Gordon, can't guard nobody. They can't guard nobody. None of them. For him to go out, because that's the type of shit that's supposed to send, especially Jokic. Jokic is flirting with top 10 combos. Jokic is flirting with one of the best centers of all time combos. Jokic is already one of the greatest players of all time combos. For him to hear that, you're supposed to get a triple-double 40-piece. You're supposed to get a 40-piece like Shai just did. Shai putting up a 40-piece and he don't even need to. You hear that and you put up 6 for 20 something shooting. And as a positive, by the way, at least he was aggressive. At least he was aggressive in his approach. But though, you gotta do better. Stay hydrated. You gotta do better. All of y'all gotta do better. Shout out to Minnesota Timberwolves. In terms of predictions, ironically I have this as a 7-game series. I actually have Minnesota in 7 for this series. But if the Nuggets win, there will be no batting of an eye. I mean, there are a lot of basketball creators who get into the more analytical side of things, who take care of the reasons why. But for the Minnesota Timberwolves to be playing the defense they're playing, it's going to be really hard for scoring wise for Jokic and Jamal Murray to do it on their own. And they're going to need not only consistent play from everyone else, they're going to need consistent shooting, because one of the initial problems was Jokic wasn't aggressive enough. But him being aggressive and shooting terribly is not going to produce anything either. But he also can do it on his own, to where there are even people like Mars, shout out Mars on Twitter, to where now they're even saying we need to have conversations on his individual offensive play, to where, hey, Jokic, if Jokic is getting exposed to where his playmaking is even being able to be blueprinted now, that doesn't look good for them in the series. But this is still the Denver Nuggets. I still feel this is going to go a 7-game series. So it can go down the wire. It can go either way. And to continue to go down, just to also have some predictions as well. Who did I forget? I forgot the Celtics 76ers. Great game, dog. Shout out Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Even I'm someone who used to be a Boston Celtics hater. And for years, you had to hear people talk about how Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, it won't work. You need to break it up. Even though I don't think I went that far. After the reason, because I used to also be a Steph Curry hater because I'm a big LeBron fan. And so I used to really not like Steph Curry as a basketball player. But then for some reason, niggas started to act like Damian Lillard was better. And again, I don't do propaganda hoops even if I don't like a player. So the actual basketball knowledge person in me and fan of me had to be like, no universe is he ever touching Curry. And then he dropped like 60 on the damn head. And then he came back and proved what was asked of him. He won a finals MVP. He won it without KD. He got the Olympic medal. There's no more hate. Steph Curry is the greatest point guard of all time. I think I've also said that on the pod before. I hope I have. Matter of fact, I might actually have a segment talking about my top 10 list in my basketball opinions because a lot of people, I'm a huge fan of the people like Legend of Winning, Mars, Jeremy High Roller, who actually have sense when they talk about basketball. But there's a lot of people who don't got sense and they only speak out of their emotion and just no logic when they talk about basketball. But for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to get the hate they have, and for people to constantly claim that they won't work as a duo, for them to constantly work as a duo, and even if it's not championship, Eastern Conference Finals, second round, Eastern Conference Finals, championship. Tatum has now came back. He's been ever since. It has not been that many people to come back from Achilles and to say that they're either the same, if not better. Kevin Durant is still putting up the longevity he's had after Achilles. DeJounte Murray, he came back after Achilles and he's still really good. Jason Tatum, for him to come back after his Achilles injury and to pretty much still be the same player, even in playoff basketball, hitting important shots. He hit a very clutch three in that game against Philadelphia to seal the deal. Jaylen Brown not only picking up the responsibility on the offensive end, but the defensive end as well. There was literally a clip him telling Jason Tatum, like, hey, take a breather. I got Paul George. Like, taking that responsibility and for him to pull that matchup off. Great basketball from the Boston Celtics. I do also want to shout out people like VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey from the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, for VJ Edgecombe to be a rookie, and I think he put up 30 in their win that they got in the series, very impressive. Tyrese Maxey is putting up almost 30 a game. I mean, it is unfortunate that they don't have no play from Joel Embiid, but the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers are continuing the trend of great playoff basketball. And I think, and other than that, there are two more series. There are the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors, and then there's the San Antonio Spurs versus the Portland Trail Blazers. If Wemby not gonna be there, that sucks. The Spurs did just win their most recent game with Castle and Dylan Harper putting up really great games in their performance in the win. And I don't know how to say the guy's name, so I don't really want to butcher it from the Portland Trailblazers, but his initials are DA, the foreign guy out. I'm not even going to try to, like I said, I'm not even going to try to butcher it, but he's really good on the Trailblazers as well. I do have the Spurs taking that series, especially if Victor Wembanyama is able to return. And then there's great basketball also being played between between the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland is up 2-1 in that series, and it's also really great basketball to where I think Cleveland is going to take that series, but I think that's also another series that could potentially go to 7. But all in all, in terms of predictions, I think we're in for really, really great basketball as the playoffs continue. Biasedly, I would love LeBron James were to get another championship and for Luka Doncic to get a championship and for the Lakers to win. Biasedly, I would love for the Detroit Pistons to finally bring a championship to my city. I don't think neither of that shit is happening. I think we're about to see a Boston versus Oklahoma, one of them teams in 7 type of finals, to where I don't see a team stopping unless it's Wemby. I don't see a team Wemby and the Spurs. I don't see a team stopping the Thunder. Well, how the Pistons playing, I don't got no hope that we get into the finals. So, and I think the Boston Celtics were playing good without Tatum. So for Tatum to come back the same, I think the Celtics are going to be able to, if I need to pick a winner, I think the Celtics are going to do a good job in defending their title. I get my years mixed up. Who are the most recent champions? Is it the Thunder or the Celtics? It is it's the Thunder. So Celtics 2024, Thunder 2025. By the way, for other podcasts out there, fact check. I'm a journalist, so it's been trained in me to fact check. So it just makes me anxious to get stuff wrong. If I know I have the ability to fact check it, if I can, and I'm not perfect, but I have a computer in front of me, I can type and be like, hey, I was wrong. It was actually the Thunder. Please try to practice that more, or just hire somebody. I'm shouting. I'm taking a shot at my favorite podcast, Joe. Dog, hire somebody to fact check. Dog, it be them, bro. I still can't get over the fact that nigga Ish. Shout out Ish. I actually really like Ish as a partner. That nigga said U of M was in Lansing. I still get bothered at that shit. Like, it's Michigan State, and then U of M is in Ann Arbor. But um, I feel the Boston Celtics are gonna return to what they did in 2024, and they're gonna be NBA champions. I feel with how they're playing in the East and with their chemistry not shaking at all, I feel the only team that can really beat them in 7 games is a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder. One of the only teams that probably you can argue has better chemistry. You could have the argument has the better player on the team. And with Shea Gilgeous Alexander putting up just like easy 30 a night, I mean, again, I got the finals being Boston, Oklahoma, one of them teams in 7. I would love to be wrong and for it to be the Lakers or the Pistons or a surprise team. But I'm blessed to just say we're in a really great time for basketball right now, to where there's an oversaturation of talent, to where there's so much talent in the league. There could be 20-point blowouts, and next thing you know, there could be teams that were down 20 and win it by 13. So all in all, I'm blessed to say that I'm in this era of basketball. And as I go through my topics, we've almost reached the end, and unfortunately, we kind of have to end on a somber note as I make sure that we're still recording, because I mentioned the word oversaturation as I transition to my next topic, because it's a positive in basketball when there's so much talent to where you could just pick a random game and you could end up having a new favorite player. If I were to introduce you, you never watch basketball, because there's so many people that are so good. There are other companies to where if there's too much talent, then there's just going to be people who are underutilized. And recently from the WWE, I wish I was starting this segment talking about my WrestleMania thoughts and my WrestleMania review, but unfortunately, there was a lot of talent released from the WWE yesterday. Some names, including people like Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, Kari Sane, the Motor City Machine Guns, the Wyatt Six. Like, it just makes you really question, especially for people like the Motor City Machine Guns, why would you sign them? Why do you put them on TV? Why do you put them on in storylines? Why do you implement them in our face on camera just to pull them away or to not pay out the storylines? It was reported allegedly that Aleister Black was supposed to be the person Randy Orton was talking to on the phone, which, by the way, that's supposed to be Karrion Kross. They gave Aleister Black and Zelina Vega Karrion Kross and his wife's role just to do them the same way they did Karrion Kross and his wife. Very odd and very frustrating. Allegedly supposed to be Aleister Black, who was supposed to be in Randy Orton's head and giving him the voices and trying to make him turn evil. And it would all pan off of Aleister Black's character, by the way. We have a Randy Orton heel turn, really, again, Karrion Kross. Shout out Karrion Kross. We have the Sammy heel turn we're finally getting. We have the Randy heel turn. And all their efforts as characters, whether it was Karrion Kross or Aleister Black, none of it mattered because neither storyline was paid off between them. And they both were released. And along with their wives and their girlfriend, I don't know if Zelina Vega married to him, but along with their partners. And even Zelina Vega came out and said, like, she didn't even get to report the news on her own. And I would want to say, as a journalist, again, Zelina Vega, she had just lost her job. And if it was me, damn, I would love to get the news on myself as well. But she said that she wasn't she didn't like how Sean Ross Sapp reported the news before she could. Journalists do have a responsibility as our job to report on news. And when we get news, it's not our responsibility to go to the source and notify them that we're about to report this news about them. Especially if you know them in real life, it could be a common courtesy, but that's unfortunately just how sometimes the cookie crumbles. But it is very fucked up that Zelina Vega could be somebody that lose her job, as she's been a pivotal part of the women's division in my years watching women's wrestling. and she can't even break the news herself. Like, that's very fucked up, especially her and her partner getting released. And it's very messed up to where the bright side of this, because it was worse back in the day before I was born, and even when I was growing up, there weren't a lot of wrestling promotions that were publicized. There were a period of time where there weren't a lot of wrestling promotions at all. There weren't a lot of alternative wrestling promotions. It was either the WWE or nothing. Now, luckily, we live in a time to where in 2026, it's a blessing to have AEW. It's a blessing to have these other wrestling companies because there's so much talent out there to where some, part of it you can't even fault the WWE because there's so much talent that they have and that they're even bringing in to where, especially when you have so many callers from NXT like Oba Femi, Trick Williams, Lash Legend, Ricky Saints, it's hard to make room for everybody. Now, you still can hold the company accountable because they don't utilize people properly, and that's also a problem that they seemingly can't really get a footing of, because it just like shout out Santi's app. It's different when it's people that you haven't even used, like when you have the argument with the Motor City Machine Guns where you barely use them for the totality of their run. But then you have people on TV like Kyrie Sane, Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, to where you're just not finishing the things that you're putting them in. And it's a blessing to have other companies that are available because it gives these people in their real lives a chance to work again. Like, drop kayfabe. This is people's livelihood and their jobs that they're losing. And it's great to have other places out there for these people to work and for people to have different opportunities to shine. Like, luckily, Bo Dallas was able to honor Bray, but now Bo Dallas is gone, and now his brother didn't pass, and now they brought it gives a odd look when they bring him back to really just, I don't know, be a Bray Wyatt clone. It was weird, and it's very disappointing. And um, other than that, to lean more into the positive side, well, no, not yet to lean to the positive side of wrestling because I ain't gonna lie, night one and night two, night and day. Night one sucked, WrestleMania. Night two was phenomenal. Night one, both nights of WrestleMania suffered from very weird pacing to where niggas couldn't even get 20 minutes to wrestle. Liv Morgan and them couldn't even get 10. Liv Morgan and Stephanie Von Kerr couldn't even get 10 minutes. These wrestlers were so handicapped to the point where it's just as impressive that they were able to put on the talent that they were with such little time they had. I feel night one of WrestleMania suffered so much because they just didn't have a lot of time to work with. And sometimes you can get away with that, but the choreography is heavily dependent on the time you get. You can't expect performers to put on 5-star matches when they get 5 minutes of wrestling. That's very difficult to do. And even with that, the performers still put on a really good showcase. Night one, unfortunately, like I said, it suffered not only a lot from bad pacing, you get a lot of commercials, you get a lot of ads for a racist like Hulk Hogan, and you get more commercial time. I think there was a stat to where there was literally almost, if not more, commercial time than there was actual wrestling for night one of WrestleMania. But listen, hey, all that was forgiven. Night two, over, over, hey, listen, all was forgiven. I really wish this company would say Happy Black History Month, especially with all the black talent that's being that's carrying their company. But shout out Obafemi, man. Not only for the choreography of him and Brock Lesnar to showcase that it wasn't an easy hill to, mountain to climb. Obafemi didn't just run through Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was someone that was difficult for Obafemi to get through. Brock Lesnar even hits his F5, and Obafemi was like, "Ooh, getting up so like this shit kind of hurt." Grabbed that nigga Brock by his neck, choke slammed him, scooped him back up, fall from grace. 1, 2, 3. Get the beast the fuck out of here. Now, Brock Lesnar does have some allegations outside the company. I hope that's not true because there's some weird allegations with him and Vince. I would hope that he gets that cleared up, especially that's somebody who has a daughter. But in wrestling, not only can I really, really respect Brock Lesnar for putting Obafemi over like that, he really gave Obafemi the retirement. Like, he decided, damn near seemed like on his own, in the middle of the ring to take his gloves off and retire after giving Obafemi the win. I mean, I can't give no more props to somebody like Brock Lesnar for being able to do that and for being able to highlight such a young talent in that way and give him the spotlight of allowing. Sorry for that if y'all heard that the scream, whatever that was, but for to allow Obafemi to have that sort of spotlight, and you have such a completely different night and night two, to where they also did get short time, unfortunately, but you still get great choreography with the matches. Even from night one, you have matches like Seth Rollins versus Gunther, to where they even got like 15 minutes, but they still could have went a little longer. But um, listen, um, we're almost out of here, and I'm gonna end my wrestling talk. There's one more topic that I want to touch on at the end, but CM Punk and Roman Reigns. I mean, my number one and number two favorite wrestlers. For, I mean, I never even thought CM Punk would ever return to WWE. I mean, the kid in me still has WWE 2K13 in my head. I had it on the Wii. It was the only wrestling game I had on the Wii. Still remember CM Punk putting up the X in his logo, to where ever since that moment as a kid, I remember after that, like, wishing, like, bro, I wish CM Punk could come back, trying to make CM Punk in the game, and for him to not only return to wrestling, but for him to get a match against somebody who I then, in his absence, grew up to love. I've been a big fan of Roman Reigns, even during the Big Dog days, even during the Shield days. For them to both come up and find themselves as artists, as wrestlers, as creators, as paint, paint, uh, painters, as, like I mentioned, as artists, to paint the picture that they did in the ring, to tell the story that they did, and for the action that they showcased. For both of these guys, they're not younger; they're just 40 and 47. For them to put on the showcase that they did, nothing short of 5 stars. I would have loved for CM Punk to win, but the main reason I was saying for Roman Reigns to lose is that if he's not going to be there, if he's going to be a part timer, don't put the belt on him. It seems like Roman Reigns is going to be there semi full time, if not just full time. He's going to be at Backlash defending the title against Jacob Fatu, and that's going to be a great match. It's alleged that he's going to have a feud with Gunther, with Oba. Listen, this could be another one of the greatest another great championship run from Roman Reigns, and another one of the greatest championship runs of all time for Roman Reigns, because his tribal chief run, that run and LA Knight is what brought me back into wrestling as a young adult, and because I stopped watching around like senior year of high school, college, and then to see what was going on with the bloodline, it was individually LA Knight. It brought me back to loving the company. And Roman Reigns is on a run that's unbelievable right now. And from his tribal chief run to now, I mean, to see the character he's found and to see the success he's having, especially if this is someone who's is a cancer survivor who's pushed through a lot of hardship and is still putting on great performances to this day. Low key, the fan in me be like, bro, he can have his part time schedule, dog. But I love to see him on TV and love to see him active. So him versus Jacob Fatu probably about to be another 5 star banger, man. And I want to end this podcast transitioning again. There was a lot of serious topics, a lot of drama going on, and I feel like this is important to highlight because actress by the name of Kate Graham, she was someone. She was going to play Diana Ross in the new Michael movie. It's been reported that a lot of scenes had to be taken out of the movie for legal reasons, and I haven't seen the Michael biopic yet, but just like I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty young, and music was something that was pretty strict around my household. But outside of hip hop, one of the only other artists that my parents made sure that I grew up with was Michael Jackson. It's like, if it's two people you can't say nothing bad about, it's Michael in the black community. It's Michael Jackson and Tupac, because those are figures for people to wear. not only is Michael Jackson's music damn near perfect, but there were people who were literally falling out for Michael Jackson. Like niggas was acting like Michael Jackson was fucking God, and that was crazy. But he was a being to where not only was he prolific in music, but he was a very polarizing figure in real life. He's also someone who has allegations on him to where there are people who feel they're not true. There are people who feel it is true. It's none of my business, but Michael Jackson was someone who, if it's one thing positively I've seen about the biopic, is that it shows what it took to be Michael Jackson, and especially with all the trauma of Michael Jackson, that what is reported and what is he had to go through, for me to find out somebody potentially like Diana Ross was potentially grooming him while he was coming up. I mean, it's very disgusting to find out. And Diana Ross, it blew my mind because Diana Ross is somebody else. Like, oh my god, like Diana Ross, like that's the Diana Ross. Like that's somebody who is also another prolific figure. Who, if you black, you, especially a fan of music, you probably also know who that is. So then to see the clips of she was on clips touching on him, flirting with him, calling him sexy, and it's very uncomfortable stuff. To where it's already bad enough, it will be bad enough to have those things revealed, but for the legal reasons to kind of come off as though you're trying to hide that and not have it be talked about. Again, I'm a human. You don't want your dirty laundry out there. But people, especially young people, are gonna pull that shit up anyway. It's gonna make you look worse to where you tried to hide that shit and you was touching on him. And then people act like, oh, Michael Jackson grew up to be so weird. And then niggas don't talk about the shit that he went through. I feel it's very important, especially as a black man, when one of the underlying tones of this episode, to take up for my culture when it needs defending. And just like I said, people are tearing this Michael Jackson movie apart. People are praising this Michael Jackson movie. What's being evident to me, even as somebody who was young when Michael Jackson passed away, a lot of y'all did not understand Michael Jackson. And I'm gonna do another conversation on this when I actually see the biopic. But for better or for worse, people have a lot of judgment on Michael Jackson without really understanding what Michael Jackson was, what he had to go through, and what he was for black culture. Because even the way, you got to even be careful how you talk about a black person and a black man like Michael Jackson. Like, hey, even me, I'm young. You got to be you can be honest, because people sometimes tend to not be honest about these figures. But you got to be very careful how you talk about Michael Jackson, because Michael Jackson was somebody who brings hope for the black community. And he, even as someone who's an artist, he even was someone who would take up for black culture and speak on blackness. And people would even try to joke and have misunderstandings about Michael Jackson to where, oh, he didn't like his blackness, he didn't like his skin, to where, again, he went through things and he had certain procedures because he had vitiligo. So there's a lot that can be talked about Michael Jackson, but especially as a black man, feel it's important for me to, like I said, defend our culture, to where you can have criticisms of black people, even if you're not black. I'm someone, like I said, you can have criticism, you can have opinions, but when certain things, no pun intended, shouldn't be black and white. It don't matter. Black and white. Certain things aren't as simple as I'm a black person. This is a white board that I'm next to. Certain things are very simple. Certain things are not very simple. A lot of situations have nuance. Michael Jackson's character and who he was as an entity had a lot of nuance around it. Things like cheating on black women, things like cheating, things like disrespecting blackness are never tolerable, are never understandable, and are never excusable. And I'll end this episode by not only saying thank you for the people who give me a platform, but thank you for the black people who love being black and who live in their blackness and thrive in their blackness. Because I've said it in, I took a triple AS course before, African American Studies, to where I was asked the question of what does it mean to be black? And I feel the only correct way to be black is to love being black. And part of loving being black is loving our women And whether you end up with a black woman or not, it is unacceptable for black women to constantly have stories on how they feel black men are the ones that treat them the worst. I speak to black women in my real life who feel that way. Even the ones who still date black men, their worst trauma is from black men. I'm someone who, even unfortunately, my worst trauma comes from black women, some black women in my life. That doesn't then mean I take that trauma and put that on all black women. I don't take that trauma because some reason dudes take it and be like, oh, I was did wrong by a woman, so I'm going to do women wrong. You're a loser, my nigga. And that doesn't mean just because you got cheated on, you cheat on black women, or you feel this odd viewpoint on women or black women, you take it on yourself and treat black women wrong. That's not how you're supposed to do our women. That's not how you're supposed to treat yourself. And that's not what you should stand for as a black man or as a black person. Thank you all for listening to me. Thank you all for giving me a platform. And thank you all for allowing me to be someone who is a voice for the black community and who is someone who isn't hesitant to speak up for our women and for just our people in general. Thank you, and I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. By the way, I don't say it, I feel it's self-explanatory, especially when I post it online, but these episodes can be found on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and whether it's a like, a reshare, a listen, an audio listen, a video listen, video watch, I'm really grateful for you guys, and any support for this podcast, I always appreciate it. Never hesitate to tell me what's on your mind, and see y'all later.